So this Excel put all the experiment run results together, and each column corresponds to one particular experiment run indexed by the dataset I use. So we have the original dataset, we have the dataset manually added blur, and we have also motion blur and so on. Each row actually corresponds to one tag fields because we want to evaluate the individual tag field. So first, we want to look at which artifacts can cause the most damaging results. So instead of looking at the tag fields individually, we want to average them, and here is the shaded line. So in the shaded line, we compare the metric. By the way, the metric is for accuracy, so the lower, the worse. You can see actually perspective transformation give you the worst performance. So definitely we want to prioritize looking at the perspective transformation. And then we want to pinpoint which group in the perspective transformation actually contribute the worst results. And here we can see actually 0.63 is the worst. That corresponds to the last name tag field. So by knowing this group is the first priority we want to inspect, we can open our folder. Actually, each subfolder here is the visualized samples for each experiment run. So we definitely want to open the perspective transformation folder, and let's say we just randomly sample 3 different images, and we want to focus on the tag field called last name and to see how each individual instance performs. So the first sample, we can see actually it detects the value, but it wrongly combined the value with another value. The next example, it didn't detect the key, but the value is recognized as Mason, which is correct. The third sample, it detected the key and also the value, but it mistaken the key as another key. So the value is also mistaken, although it's recognized correctly. So we can see actually the second one is the successful cases, but the first one and the third one are failure cases. And we want to rule out the possibility that it's not because the perspective transformation, but the original image is already wrong. So we want to compare the corresponding instance in the original dataset folder, and we want to compare. So for example, this is the original dataset, the first sample, and you can see actually both the key and value for the last name are detected correctly, and also the same case for the third sample. So now we can safely say it is the perspective transformation that we want to improve. So here is a typical process to diagnosis. So it's involved the exemplar instance discovery and focused visualization, and then we want to analyze what's the root cause. And you can see this case involves a lot of manual inspection by looking at so many numbers, and also toggle around different folders and zoom in, zoom out. It sometimes can be a very tedious process.